Um, so the DA was a little bit more heavy-handed in blaming local cops, but in studying this situation, who should we be pissed at here?
To be honest, as I've said from the beginning, we should be pissed at the Secret Service. There should have been redundancies in place so that a single person dropping a post wouldn't have a monumental effect on history. In the end, it may be found that a single officer, a single agent, a single state trooper dropped a post. That's not the point. The Secret Service has to do better, and they know it. They have to design these things with multiple redundancies built in so that if one moves to find the shooter, there's another on Overwatch. I've also heard that the rifle had a collapsible stock, making it more easy to conceal. It was either hidden behind the air conditioning or could have been in his backpack. So if this individual went through the magnetometers and was considered suspicious, he couldn't have brought the rifle because that certainly would have set it off. And he
Right.
would have checked his bag. So we can debunk some of these
Yeah.
things. As you and I first talked about, conspiracies are filling the holes, and we really need to get to the bottom of some of these.
I was a little worried about the title. Plot to kill Trump suggests that there was, a multi-party plan. As you know, the term from the FBI was digital exhaust. There isn't much. They don't have any proof of that. People say, oh, but he had detonators, he had this, he had that. He didn't have anything. You can't easily get online and not really have to dig hard to get any suggestions about how to do this. So I'm not impressed by his preparation, but I am impressed by all the finger pointing. What do you make of state and local police telling different stories about this?
This is kind of fascinating to see because communications failure is quite possibly one of the main reasons for the failure of the Secret Service that day. And it's not for the reasons that everybody thinks about not sharing radios. The Secret Service uses highly technical, digital radios with encryption. They don't have the frequency of every local police officer, but they do have command centers where they can share communication. There was a state police officer in that communication center who could speak to the local police, but the state police blaming the local police saying we didn't do it. What is monumental
Right.
here that is baffles me is there has not been a joint press conference. I am stunned. And as to your comment about the plot to kill Trump, I do believe that potentially can fuel conspiracies, but I think the reason we're filling the area with conspiracies is this was such a simple, sad, and tragically easy thing for him to do that people just can't understand. I discussed with you before Occam's razor. Nobody gets it. They want to fill those voids with complications, just like the fragmentary bullet idea that came out. And I'm not using theory anymore because a theory is something you're supposed to believe is true. These are hypotheses or far-flung ideas that have not borne out.
The only answer I want from the Secret Service is the suggestion is that you were not just poorly resourced and staffed, but that it was done intentionally to make Trump more vulnerable to attack. They didn't give him the love. They didn't give him the care. They didn't give him what they would have if they liked him. What do you make of that?
That honestly pisses me off. Anybody who wants to suggest that the Secret Service would have reduced the security on an individual to make him more vulnerable while putting their own agents in the line of fire. In history, more agents have been shot or killed than presidents. Why would anyone in the Secret Service ever endanger the fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers that do the job, that ran towards danger? It's unfortunately something you just sort of have to digest if you're in this field, that people are going to fling theories at you or accusations, and you have to choke them down and move on because there's a mission to do. The operational tempo just doesn't suffer fools.
Right.
You can look at the vulnerabilities that day.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.